Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. For years, fans of Sister Wives watched the Brown family navigate the turbulent waters of plural marriage, heartbreak, relocation, and religious faith under the glaring lights of TLC's cameras. Through it all, Kody Brown, the patriarch with his ever-shifting affections and increasingly controversial leadership, held the center of the family together like the gravitational pull of a fading star. But if there was one figure who remained an enigma, silently pulling strings and sowing discord under the polished veneer of tears and quiet smiles, it was Robyn Brown. Once seen as the demure fourth wife, the outsider who softened Kody's edges and wanted nothing more than a harmonious polygamous family unit, Robyn's true role behind the scenes is now unraveling. Because according to explosive revelations recently uncovered by insiders close to the production and corroborated by financial discrepancies and confidential contracts, Robyn Brown had a secret, independently negotiated deal with TLC that not only undermined the other wives but quite possibly destroyed the Brown family as viewers once knew it. A deal so cunning, so quietly orchestrated, and so financially slanted in her favor, that when the truth finally broke loose, it exposed a decade of deception, favoritism, and behind-the-scenes manipulation that left Meri, Janelle, and Christine blindsided, betrayed, and broken. It started, as most betrayals do, with money. TLC's flagship reality hit had made the Browns famous and wealthy, or so fans believed. While the show paraded homes in Flagstaff, Las Vegas, and Utah, and featured family trips, business ventures, and Kody's grand dreams of a one-home compound, the financial burden always seemed mysteriously unbalanced. Christine openly spoke about struggling to afford her children's schooling. Janelle rented modest properties while juggling jobs. Meri launched side hustles in desperation. But Robyn lived differently. Her home was newer, her lifestyle subtly elevated, her tone always protected. And while Kody slowly emotionally detached from his original three wives, he grew closer to Robyn, defending her decisions, prioritizing her children, and dismissing concerns from the others with increasing hostility. At first, fans thought it was favoritism. Now they know it was leverage. Robyn, according to insiders with knowledge of the show's contracts, had negotiated her own TLC side deal back in 2015, just before the family moved from Las Vegas to Flagstaff. While the others were signed under a collective family contract, Robyn secured an individual clause that guaranteed her an executive consultant fee, residual bonuses tied to episodes featuring her and her children, and an approval clause over how she was portrayed in post-production. Unlike the others, whose voices were often overshadowed or twisted into meme-worthy breakdowns, Robyn maintained a near-pristine image, teary-eyed, soft-spoken, the eternal victim. And now we know why. She had editing control. Even more jaw-dropping, financial leaks suggest Robyn's cut of the Sister Wives' profits was nearly double that of the other wives by 2020, all while presenting herself as just another struggling polygamist wife trying to keep sweet and hold the family together. In reality, she was cashing in on chaos, while the others lived it. Christine, who became the first wife to leave Kody officially, had long hinted that something felt wrong behind the scenes. In post-divorce interviews, she spoke vaguely about feeling like a basement wife and not being treated as an equal, but fans now suspect those were subtle references to Robyn's TLC favoritism. When Christine realized Robyn was being protected, elevated, and paid more, while she was made to look petty or unstable for standing up for herself, it was the final betrayal. According to one source, Christine confronted Robyn about the deal during filming for season 16, off-camera. Robyn reportedly cried and denied any wrongdoing, claiming she didn't know why TLC paid her differently. But insiders say Christine saw the legal documents. She knew. And she left not just Kody, but the entire framework of lies that had kept her trapped for over 2 decades. Meri, too, had her suspicions. Once Kody's legal wife, she had been pressured into divorcing him so he could legally marry Robyn in order to adopt her children, a decision that Meri later admitted caused deep emotional pain. But what if that legal marriage had less to do with adoption and more to do with contract power? Once legally wed, Robyn could sign more binding deals. She could represent the family in negotiations. She could become legally and financially the gatekeeper. And according to leaks, that's exactly what she did. Mary's role on the show diminished drastically in later seasons, and her emotionally raw moments, like the catfishing scandal, were amplified, while Robyn's missteps were edited into oblivion. It wasn't just favoritism, it was orchestration. Janelle, ever practical and quiet, kept her head down for years. But even she couldn't ignore the discrepancies. Fans recall how she lived in an RV on the Coyote Pass property, while Robyn enjoyed central heating and furnished elegance. That's just Janelle, some viewers said. But behind the scenes, resentment brewed. When Janelle discovered that Robyn had been receiving a wardrobe allowance triple hers, and that TLC had been paying Robyn's nanny expenses while Janelle juggled multiple jobs, the illusion shattered. "We were in this together," she reportedly told producers. But she was always on a different team. The final straw? When Robyn began pushing for her children's increased screen time, allegedly lobbying producers to reduce the scenes featuring the older Brown kids from the other wives because they were too rebellious and not family brand friendly. It worked. The show shifted focus. The wives faded. Robyn became the center. And Cody? Some say he never knew. Others believe he knew exactly what Robyn was doing and enabled it. After all, his affection for her only deepened the more the show revolved around her narrative. He moved in permanently. He stopped dividing time equally. He called the other wives disobedient, disrespectful, unloyal. And the fans noticed. The once quirky family show about plural love became a televised unraveling of emotional abuse, neglect, and isolation. And at the heart of that unraveling was a woman who had presented herself as a peacemaker, but had quietly signed the deal that divided them all. In 2023, a bombshell dropped. A former TLC staffer leaked excerpts of a production memo detailing talent priorities. At the top, Robyn Brown. Notes included recommendations for framing Robyn as the emotional anchor of the family and minimizing footage that contradicts her nurturing persona. It was confirmation of what fans had long suspected and what the wives had lived through in real time. Robyn had not only secured a better financial position, she had rewritten the family story arc to center herself. And in doing so, she hadn't saved the Brown family. She had buried it. Now, as the new season looms and viewers wonder whether there's anything left of the original plural marriage dream, one truth stands taller than the rest. Robyn Brown, through a mix of quiet calculation and contractual cunning, didn't just join the family, she conquered it. And whether or not she ever confesses, the fallout speaks volumes. Christine is gone and thriving. Janelle is publicly distancing herself. Mary has found independence. And Cody, once surrounded by wives and children, is now down to one. The one who made the deal. So the next time Robyn cries on camera and says she doesn't know what went wrong, fans will watch with new eyes. Because what went wrong wasn't fate. It wasn't plural marriage. It wasn't the cameras. It was a hidden contract, a calculated betrayal, and a woman who weaponized her victimhood to climb to the top of a crumbling empire. Robyn's hidden TLC deal that destroyed the Brown family, the aftershock, the fallout, and the final betrayal. As more details about Robyn's hidden TLC contract surfaced through insider leaks, contract fragments, and whistleblowing former producers, it became painfully clear that this wasn't just a shrewd business move. It was a betrayal with nuclear consequences. Because while the contract itself granted Robyn editorial privileges and a significantly larger share of earnings, the emotional and psychological effects it had on the family's foundation were irreversible. The deal wasn't just about money. It was about control. And Robyn didn't just negotiate her way to a better financial position. She positioned herself as the narrative gatekeeper of the Brown brand, controlling how the audience viewed the rest of the family, while silently tightening her grip on Cody. What viewers didn't see, what was scrubbed from early cuts or left on the editing room floor, was the real extent of Robyn's influence over production. She allegedly insisted that TLC cut back on scenes showing Mary's entrepreneurship, Janelle's independence, and Christine's mounting frustrations. Sources said she flagged scenes she felt misrepresented her role, especially when she was challenged or caught contradicting herself. Editors were allegedly pressured to craft storylines where Robyn always appeared level-headed, emotionally available, and supportive, even when her actions behind the scenes told a very different story. Over time, the show evolved from a documentary about plural family dynamics into a scripted tragedy with one wife above the rest. Christine, who had already felt pushed out emotionally by Cody, began to realize she was also being pushed off screen. She filmed hours of footage discussing her struggle to maintain a relationship with Cody, but those scenes were trimmed. Conversations where Robyn dismissed Christine's concerns or claimed victimhood at inappropriate times. Gone. What aired was a Christine who seemed irrational, unstable, or overly sensitive, feeding a public perception that justified Cody's drift away from her. And when Christine finally left, Robyn's on-camera reaction was devastating in its subtlety. Instead of showing relief or ownership, she shed tears. "I just wanted sister wives," she whispered, hiding the fact that behind the scenes, she'd allegedly been lobbying for a monogamous pivot for years. And then came the biggest reveal yet, an email chain leaked in early 2024 between Robyn's personal representative and TLC producers. In it, her rep suggested that the show may benefit from transitioning to a more focused family model, one that centers Robyn and Cody's journey post-plural marriage. This wasn't just speculation. It was a quiet attempt to rebrand the show entirely around Robyn as the last wife standing. Christine saw the writing on the wall. Janelle began refusing certain filming requests. Mary, finally broken, stepped away with nothing more than a whispered goodbye. And Cody? His descent into a defensive, angry, isolated man was now complete. The damage had been done. Privately, Robyn maintained that she never meant to hurt anyone, that the TLC deal was standard, that the edits were just how the network shaped the show, and that she only wanted peace. But her castmates weren't buying it. She weaponized her tears, Christine reportedly told a friend. She pretended she didn't know what was happening, but she knew. She designed it. And fans agreed. Online forums exploded with side-by-side comparisons of the wives' screen time, pay disparity reports, and Robyn's most manipulative moments, from feigning confusion about Cody's neglect of the others to claiming she never wanted to be the favorite, all while reaping the rewards of exactly that. Even TLC couldn't deny the shift. Ratings plummeted after Christine's exit. Fans accused the network of turning a documentary into a manipulation machine. Viewers who had once cheered for the Brown family's effort to normalize plural marriage now felt duped, watching what had started as a story of unity disintegrate into one of favoritism, lies, and a quiet coup orchestrated by the one wife who always claimed to want sisterhood. And what of the children? The ripple effect of Robyn's backdoor deal didn't stop at the adults. Some of the older Brown kids, including Gwendolyn and Peyton, began speaking out on social media. They expressed frustration over what had happened to their moms, shared personal stories about Cody's absence from their lives, and hinted at how Robyn's involvement changed everything. "We used to be a family," one child wrote anonymously in a now-deleted Reddit AMA. Then Robyn came with cameras, contracts, and a smile, and everything fell apart. Cody, now effectively living as a monogamist in everything but name, continued to deny that Robyn was responsible for the destruction of his family. But viewers saw the truth. The Cody who once juggled 4 wives with pride and chaos had become a shell of himself, moody, paranoid, angry, and endlessly justifying decisions that benefited only one woman. And that woman, Robyn, remains in the center of the shattered Brown family portrait, untouched and well compensated. Now, as rumors swirl that Sister Wives may soon pivot into a Robyn and Cody spinoff, focused on rebuilding their lives after the plural implosion, the betrayal cuts even deeper. Viewers are asking the hard questions. Will TLC ever acknowledge the role their contracts and selective editing played in enabling this downfall? Will the other wives get their own platforms, their own shows, their own justice? Or will Robyn continue to benefit from the empire she quietly reshaped? Because in the end, the story of the Browns wasn't just about polygamy. It was about power, perception, and who gets to tell the story. And thanks to a hidden TLC deal inked in silence, Robyn wasn't just telling the story, she was rewriting it.